The sea is full of astonishments, from the vast sea life and deep-sea mysteries, to the abundance of food and resources, to the mystics of folklore and legend. The ocean is astonishing, and sometimes the ocean regurgitates its contents right on our shores to show us more of the secrets and wonders that it possesses. Here are 10 of the most strangest things to wash up on shore. And as we bring up the bowels of the ocean, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for future updates. This is Tenzone. Number 10. Scary fish. This one is arguably a head spinner. Every so often, creatures from the sea wash up on the shore. Nevertheless, this time around, a fish scary enough to give you goosebumps washed up on the shore of Mululaba Beach. In 2019, Cockpit posted, quote, "I saw this fella who I think is some kind of pufferfish on the beach at Mululaba. Then after a couple of days in almost the same spot, a scary-looking eel was found. It was around 2.5 meters long and with some seriously wicked double-row teeth. Oh, come on! You can't really anticipate what you'll unravel in that same spot." Number 9. Rubber ducks. This is definitely an overwhelming scene, the attack of the rubber ducks. In 1992, a container carrying an enormous 28,000 rubber ducks was lost at sea. It spilled over in the Pacific Ocean as the cargo ship got caught in a storm. And since then, these seaworthy rubber ducks have appeared all across the world, floating into beaches, ports, and bays all across virtually every continent all over the planet. The cargo first left Hong Kong, and after that, it had been found on beaches in Canada, United States, Ecuador, Colombia, England, and France. Although there might be a slim chance that you'll be lucky enough to see these rubber duckies during your next sea venture, there's still that chance. Care to bet your odds? Number 8. Airplane. As you can see from the last entry, the ocean has some old secrets, and this goes back to World War II. This may not come to a big surprise, yet countless airplanes have been exposed on shores that date back to World War II. On the 14th day of October 2020, a lifeguard found something special. It was debris from the World War II's most well-known fighter planes, the Spitfire, also known as Seafire. The Battle of Britain caused a lot of Spitfire's wreckage, and the piece that washed up on shore was dated back some 75 years ago. It was also determined that this particular Spitfire debris was used predominantly by the Royal Air Force, RAF, even though other Allied countries flew the legendary British aircraft before, during, and after World War II. See, we never really know what might pop up from the past. Number 7. Jellyfish. This one tells a remarkable and gorgeous tale. Hundreds of thousands, and maybe even in the millions of jellyfish called Velella or by the wind sailors, which normally inhabit the open ocean, were found scattered across the beach shores of the west coast of the United States. They piled up like a carpet of deflated blue and purple balloons. In 2014, Kevin Raskoff, a marine biologist, says they first began showing up on Oregon and Washington state beaches. Then it wasn't long until they started appearing at the coastline of California. These creatures normally remain on the surface of the open ocean and ride the wind and water currents in search of food using a hardened, triangular sail. Unlucky for them, they got pushed too far into the shore and were stranded on the beach. As what Raskoff says, quote, "Since these animals are related to jellyfish, they can also sting. If you touch them, you might not feel any pain in your fingers, but if you rub your eyes or touch a more sensitive part of your skin, you're going to feel it. In other words, don't touch." End quote. Number 6. Dinosaur femur. Here's another blast from the past that the ocean belched up. As if odd creatures, planes, and rubber ducks weren't strange enough, an entire dinosaur thigh bone washed up on a Washington beach. Finally, the first ever evidence that dinosaurs once roamed in Washington. It was a fragment of a femur bone hidden underwater for millions of years. In 2012, when the tide was out, they noticed a fossilized bone embedded in the marine rock, and researchers and pathologists from the University of Washington were contacted right away. And there's more to it. Scientists further looked into the massive bone structure, identifying it as a theropod, which resembles breasts such as the T-Rex and Velociraptor. The fossil, which is hypothetically guessed to be 80 million years old, was considered a remarkable discovery and feat for research into prehistoric life. Number 5. Robohand. This isn't something you would normally cross on your everyday routine. On a beach near Great Kills Park Beach, New York, a robotic hand was discovered. Even though its existence is still unrecognized, we could just come up with a fragment of an upcoming robot takeover. Kidding aside, this was certainly a strange discovery during one local's autumn saunter along Staten Island's Divine Shore. Number 4. Conjoined Dolphins. Next up on the list of odd things found on the shore are conjoined dolphins. A gym teacher, Tugral Metin, who was on vacation, spotted a two-headed dolphin corpse washed up on a beach in Izmir, Turkey in August 2014. Due to a terrible storm, the 12-month-old conjoined dolphin, that measured nearly 1 meter in length, was pushed up to the shore. Dolphins spotted on beaches may be a dime a dozen in the entire scheme of life, but to witness conjoined dolphins is a totally unique story. Number 3. Unexploded Bomb. Here's another man-made lost object thrown up from the gut of the ocean. An unexploded bomb washed up on shore at a North Carolina beach. As soon as it was found, the proper authorities rushed on the scene. Meanwhile, a safety perimeter of approximately a half a mile was set up. Shortly after, the bomb was safely removed by a U.S. Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit from Norfolk, Virginia. The item was found on the beach at Buxton near the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse Beach Access parking area. According to authorities, the 3 feet long and tube-shaped encrusted bomb had tail fins similar to those dropped from aircraft. The Superintendent of National Parks of Eastern North Carolina, David Halleck, said, "Big waves such as those created by Hurricane Epsilon, which is east of Bermuda, often lead to unexploded ordnance and practice bombs occasionally washing ashore." Number 2. Large driftwood covered in gooseneck barnacles. Melissa Doubleday was having a good time along Murray Beach near Auckland when she came across an eye-catching scene. In 2016, Doubleday posted the image of this strange object on the Murray and Waimaku Area Community Group Facebook page. She asked for some help identifying it. Nearly 100 people offered different suggestions on what it could be. It's either a Maori canoe, a walrus, an alien pod, a time capsule, or worst, a monster. But there's an explanation that's justifiable. The large piece of driftwood was covered in gooseneck barnacles, which are filter-feeding crustaceans that attach themselves to rocks. Interestingly, the good lady didn't realize that she was actually looking at a nice treat, as these barnacles are considered a delicacy in Spain, where they are called percebes. Number 1. World War II Love Letters. This one will just warm and break your heart all at the same time. After Typhoon Sandy struck, Patrick, a 14-year-old, found 57 letters tied with a ribbon inside a box as he was walking along the beach in Atlantic Highlands. The letters were written by a New Jersey woman to her boyfriend during and after World War II. The discovered letters were actually from Dorothy Fallon to Lynn Farnham and were written right up to the week before they got married. It's unclear why Lynn was in Vermont, but the contents of the letter were so full of love and adoration. Patrick's guardian, Kathleen Cheney, told reporters, quote, "I wanted to return them to whoever they belonged to. They're beautiful. She obviously adored him." End quote. After Cheney gathered some intel, she found out that Farnham had died in 1991. However, Dorothy was alive but frail at the age of 91. Which of these strange discoveries do you think is most bizarre? Also, if you found something strange around the beach, tell us about it in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're new to the channel, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for future videos. Until next time.